Hello, welcome back. This is lecture number 3 and I'm going to create exercises 7, 8, and 9. As you know, there are 10 lectures in this series and I will create a total of 30 different drawings. Each lecture lasts approximately 1 hour. A different lecture is given each week at this same time. If you prefer that these lectures be given at a different time, please let me know. So let's get started. What you see on the screen is a list of function keys on your computer's keyboard. They are listed from F1 to F12. If you toggle one of these keys, you notice that familiar things happen on the screen. That is because in Autocad there are always more than one way to change things. For now, remember these important practices. The F8 key is used to toggle ortho on and off. The F3 key is used to toggle OSNAP on and off. And the F1 key is the help key. That is typical for all Microsoft programs. In addition, when we start a line or circle or arc, and you hit escape, it stops a command. Furthermore, if we hit the enter key or spacebar, it repeats what was the last command. And if you hit escape, it stops the command, then you can hit spacebar to restart. For example, the line command. Finally, before I start to draw, I want to remind you to practice the undo and redo commands. They are very important as well. Hello again. At this time I'll recreate exercise number 7. So I moved into model space and I set the layer to 1, and I'll draw type L, enter, or pick it here, and I'll type 2.875, enter, go up 0.787, enter, to the left 2.875, enter, C to close, and we'll zoom that up so we can see it better. Next, I'll draw a line from the midpoint here out there somewhere, anywhere. Enter, and I'll move it so that it crosses in both lines. And the next thing I guess I'll want to do is to offset O, enter, 0.29, enter, from here to here. It's the same on both sides, so I'll offset 0.29, just keep hitting enter. Hit enter twice to repeat the command, and this time I'm going to offset 0.1. Offset in that direction, 0.1 in that direction. Next, I'll want to offset, I'll hit enter twice, a distance of half of 0.656, which is 0.328. So I want to offset 0.328, enter, this line going up here and down here, and then I can zoom with the window to work on one end at a time. Now you can type break, BR, enter, and you want to break these two lines. Matter of fact, Probably want to break these lines as well. And I'm going to fillet, enter, and intersect, clean up that intersection, and clean up this intersection. Also, I'm going to go back to break, BR, enter. I want to break this line here. I'll type F for first point, which is that, and then select the second point. And I'll do the same below. I'm going to break that line, F for the first point, here to here. And then I'm going to type CHA for chamfer. Then D, enter. 0.062, enter. And the second chamfer distance will also be 0.062, so I'll hit enter again. Now I can pick these two lines and chamfer that corner. Hit the space bar or the enter key, chamfer that corner. And since this is an outside view, I can draw a line from here to here. Also, I can draw a line from here to there. Because you're looking at it from the outside, you wouldn't see you would see those lines. There's another line from here to here. And I'm going to zoom. Z, enter, E, enter. Now I'm going to work on this side. And I'm going to break. BR, enter. Try it again. Break. BR, enter. I'm going to break this line. F for the first point. Here, and then just simply select the second point. Repeat the command by hitting the enter key. I'm going to break that line, F for the first point, from there to there. I'm also going to break this line. I'll just pick any 2 points in this case. Now what I have to do is fillet, F, enter. I'm going to fillet those two, clean up that intersection, and I'll clean up this intersection. And now I'm going to use the chamfer command, CHA, enter. D, enter for the distance. The first distance is 0.062, I'll accept it. The second distance is 0.062, I'll accept that. Now all I got to do is select the two lines, like that, and connect those lines with this straight line here. Repeat the command, here, here, hit the enter key twice, here, here. In zoom extents, see what it looks like. Hit escape, Z, enter, E, enter. And the drawing looks correct, except that this line in the middle should be a center line. So I'll click on it, and then I'll go to Properties, and I'll change its layer. It was on layer 1. I'm going to put it on layer center. It should change to red, which it does. However, I'm also going to type LTS, which is light scale, and change it to 0.62, and you'll see that the center line is more pronounced. So now I can shrink it down to about that size and start dimensioning. First thing you have to do when you dimension is to change the layer and make the DIM layer current. I notice that these are all 3 places, so I'll have to go to Dimension Style, Modify, go to Primary Units, select 3 zeros after the decimal point, and close. Now I can take a linear dimension and start to do the work from here to here. hit the space bar to continue. From here to here. Stop it at that end point. Hit the space bar. Hit the space bar to continue. And once again over here. That keeps happening with the dimension going down there. There's a way of fixing it. I'll figure it out later. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is take off ortho, take off OSNAP, and I'm going to erase this dimension because the numbers are obviously wrong. And so I'm going to redimension that. I'll pick from the endpoint or intersection right there to the other endpoint or intersection right there and drag it out. Okay, now I'll click on that and then move it up to say there. Hit escape. Same thing on this side. I can use the grips to change the location. Like so. And I can edit, ED enter. I can edit this with mtext, and I can click on the diameter symbol, which goes, no, wrong one. I'll just delete it. And I'll do it over again. I'll go here to diameter, and then I'll type 0.656 2x, 2 places, and click OK. And then here I can try, that's also a diameter. I'll just click on the arrow symbol here and put diameter. It puts it out front, and click OK. Now we have to put the chamfer dimension on, so I'm going to type, hit escape, type LE for a leader, and then I'm going to start the leader at the midpoint of this chamfer right there. Okay, and then draw my arrow, and then I'll put ortho on. So it goes horizontal like that, and it says mtext, and so I'll type 0.062 by 45 degrees is %, %d, and I can type CHAM, enter, and the next line would be BOTHEN, hit OK. And so it would seem that we have completed the 2D and 2D drawing on this project. Now what you want to do is to use zoom real time and shrink that down, and then you want to pan so as to get it to the lower left corner. And to make the solid, I'm going to copy this object, this shaft, and move it up here. I'll take ortho off and move it up here to the right. And then I'm going to zoom in on it, and I'm going to erase these lines here. As a matter of fact, we'll probably type erase, and this time I'm going to type C enter. That means crossing, so that anything I touch, no, that's not true. What I really want to do is trim, TR enter. I want to trim from that line these two extensions here. Then I want to erase this bottom portion, and I'm going to fill it with radius 0. That intersection and that intersection, and then I'm going to select this half, and I'm going to change the property. I'm going to put it on layer solid. It should turn red. The lines should all be continuous, which they are. So now I can go into southeast isometric view like that, and I can pan, and I can zoom with the window. In the past tutorials we've used extrusion. Now we're going to use something called revolve. Revolve is a command, and you'll see now how it works. I'm going to type REV for revolve. No, it won't revolve because it's not all one line. So the first thing that has to be done is go type PE enter, polyline enter. I'm asked if I want to turn it into a polyline. I say yes, enter. J enter, join. In other words, I want to join. I make a window. I want all those lines to be connected. Hit enter twice. Now if I hover over it, you can see they're all connected. Now I can type REV enter. I can select the object. I can put the O snap back on, and I can pick one end, then the other end. I'm asked if I want to revolve at 360 degrees. I accept that, hit enter. Unfortunately, I'm on the wrong layer. So I'm going to take that object and I'm going to change the layer to solid. That's because I didn't change the layer up here. So let's try it again. Change the property to layer solid. Doesn't want to work. Alright, so what we'll do is go here to layer. We'll make layer solid current. Okay. And now we're going to select this and go to properties. Now it's still not layer solid. That's amazing. Layer solid has become current. I changed something, made it wrong. So what I'll do in order to save time is go to property, layer solid, change it to layer solid. Okay. Change that. This time I'm going to just change the color to red. You get the idea anyway. So anyway, I'll zoom extents, Z enter, E enter, and then I'll move into the top view and I'll go into layout or paper space. Next, I'm going to have to change the viewport, make B ports current. Okay. MV enter. I like to take off the O snap when I do that. Hit the enter or space bar to repeat the command. Double click inside. Go to southeast isometric, pan and zoom, Now double click outside the viewport. Click on the large window and set the scale at 1:1. Double click inside the viewport, then pan. Remember, you're not supposed to zoom inside the 2D viewport. The drawing looks okay, so I'll double click outside. Now I'm going to zoom with the window and rotate this drawing solid. See what it looks like. So I'll double click inside. I'll go to View, Orbit, Continuous Orbit. This time I'll switch it. Ooh, that's not good. I'll just turn it like that. Well, anyway, forget it. For the time being, I'll just go to Zoom Previous, double click outside, then Z, enter, E, enter to zoom extents. The drawing looks right, so I'm going to now change the layer back to 1, freeze the viewports layer, and the drawing looks correct, and so we'll end this particular project. Thank you for watching. This is exercise 8, so let's get started. Click Model button, click Layer button, make Layer 1 current, OK. Draw a line, L enter, anywhere, from here to enter, down, 1.38, enter. 2, enter, C, enter. Zoom with the window to enlarge it. Zoom real time, make it bigger, pan over here like this. Now I'm going to copy Auto should be on when you do this, like that. Then I'm going to offset, O enter, 1.38. Repeat the command, offset 0.38. Hit escape, fillet, radius 0. O enter for offset, 0.63, enter. F enter for fillet. F enter. Got to keep your eye on the command line. Now I'm going to extend, EX enter, to this line, enter that one. So the right side view is finished. Next I want to offset O enter, 0.88, enter, from here to here. And I want to copy this line and bring it over here. And extend. I'm going to extend to these two vertical lines, enter both ends of that. So the front and side view are done. Now I'm going to work on the top view. I'll copy these three lines and move them up like that. Also I'll copy this line and move that up here somewhere. want to offset 1.38. Move that down there. Hit enter twice, offset 0.38. So before I get too confused, I'll do a fillet command. F enter and clean up this corner, clean up that corner, and so forth. And I have to offset. O enter 0.75, enter this line, and I want to fill it here. Escape, F enter that line and that line. So the drawing looks correct, and what I should do now is to move M, enter. I want to separate the drawing, the views, so I have room to put dimensions. I can always move them back. Auto should be on when you do this. Now we're going to go into dimensions. So I'm going to make dimension layer current. And the scale is 1:1, so I don't have to change anything. And it's two places, so let's just see what dimension styles shows. It shows two places, so we're all set. So now I suppose I can start dimensioning with linear dimensions. OSnap has to be on. So I'm going to go from here to here. Hit the enter key. Here to here. That looks right. Here to here. Here. So far, so good. And remember that if you want to make those dimensions look better, you take off Object Snap and Ortho, you click on the object, the dimension, and just drag it down where you want it, like so. Same thing with this. Hit Escape, click on that, drag it down to where you want it, like that. So the three views look correct. The dimensions seem to be wrong. That 1.38 is wrong. So I ought to fix that. How can I fix that? I think I'll erase it. The dimension. And I'm going to offset it. Got it wrong to begin with. 1.25. Enter. From here down. And now I can erase this and trim, TR, enter. I can trim from this line, enter, that, then I can copy this line and drag it over here like this. But Ortho has to be on. And do the same on that side. Erase. This time I'll use the fillet instead of the trim command. I can do those two sides, I can do these, and I can do these as well. So now when I put a dimension up there, it should be correct. Put the OSnap on and put a dimension from here to here. should be 1.25, which it is. Now we're going to make the solid model, so I'm going to switch here and make solid current for the layer. I'm going to zoom this down a bit and then pan over. So what I need here is a polyline. I'm going to copy that trace over the perimeter like this. C, enter to close. M, enter. L, enter. I want to move the last thing I drew. I'll take off ortho so I can move it to the upper right. Now I want to do the rectangle, two opposite points like that. M, enter. L, enter. Select that and move that up. And I can go into southeast isometric, and I can pan over here like this, zoom with the window like that. Now I can type EXT to extrude. I want to extrude this portion here 1.25, 1.25, enter. Try it again. Extrude, enter. 1.25, enter. Now I want to extrude the smaller object. That is 0.62, 0.62, enter. And I want to move small object from that intersection to that intersection, then union or add them together. That, enter. I'll center this a little bit. Add some shading, see what it looks like. It looks right. Z, enter, E, enter. Then I'll go into the top view. Then I'll switch into layout mode or paper space, and I'll make viewports layer current. Then I'll type MV for M view, and I'll make a window here. Undo. That's what happens when you don't take off object snap. MV, enter. It sometimes snaps you to the wrong place. Okay. Now I'll do it again. Double click inside. Go to southeast isometric. Pan. Zoom with the window to enlarge it. Use zoom real time to make it bigger or whatever. Double click outside. Now click on the large frame to set an annotative scale. That has to be 1:1, so I'll click on 1:1. Double click inside the viewport. Now I can pan, and it looks like it's going to be okay. Double click outside. I'll zoom with the window, the solid model, double click inside, and just for the fun of it, I'm going to go view, and I'm going to go orbit and continuous orbit, just to have some fun and see what it looks like. Everything looks okay, so I'll right click, exit, go back to Z enter, P enter, or zoom previous. Double click outside, Z enter, E enter, zoom extents. Click on the layer button, make layer 1 current, freeze the viewports layer. So this drawing, exercise number 8, is now complete, and I want to thank you for watching. We'll start exercise 9 by going into model space, changing the layer to make 1 current, and start with the line command, and this time we'll start with the front view. Pick any point and go down 0.63, enter. Go to the right 2, enter. Go up 1.25, enter. Go to the right 0.63, enter. Enter again, and I'll zoom that up to see what it looks like. Now we're going to draw a line with O snap on from here to here. Escape or enter. And we're going to copy this line, and that line, those 3 lines, and drag them over to do the right side view. We're going to offset O, enter, 1.25, enter. Then we're going to offset again, so hit enter twice. 1.13, enter. Enter twice to repeat the command. And we're going to offset 0.63, enter. Enter twice. 0.63, I'll accept that. And we move this line over here like so. So now we'll do F, enter. Now hit escape. F, enter. Clean up this intersection here. Clean up this intersection here. Clean up this intersection here. Type, and then we can also enter and clean up this intersection as well as this intersection. So the right side looks correct, but now we have to project over. So I'm going to copy this, drag it over here like so, escape. I'll do the fillet command here and extend EX, enter, to this line, enter, that line. Now we'll do the top view. So I'm going to copy these 3 lines and drag them up. We'll offset O, enter, 1.25, enter. And we'll fillet these, F, enter, and we'll draw a line from this intersection all the way up. We'll draw another line from that intersection all the way up, and we'll offset 0.63, escape. Undo that, was a mistake. Gonna offset 6.3. Okay. Escape, F enter fillet. We'll clean up that intersection. Then we want to trim, TR enter, from that line and that, enter that. The three views are correct, so now we want to dimension, and so I'll click on layer, make DIM the current layer, and we'll start dimensioning from here up. Because the dim scale is 1, because this drawing will be plotted at 1 to 1. And as you know, you can take off the object snap and the ortho, and you can click on any dimension and relocate the number like that. Hit escape. You can even do it here. Click on that, move it, no, escape, undo. I'll click on that, get the grips, and then I'll move it inside here like so. The 2D drawing is complete, so we'll make layer solid current, zoom real time to shrink it down, pan to put it in the lower left corner. And now we need to do trace with a polyline. I'll select the polyline. I'll put the O snap on. M enter, L enter. I want to move this to the upper right. Also, you want to do another polyline of that right triangle. M enter, L enter, and move that up as well. Go into southeast isometric and zoom with the window what I'm going to convert into a solid. I'm going to type EXT to extrude the polygon 1.25, enter, extrude the triangle 0.62, and I suppose I ought to move them apart. Move that over there. Now you want to use the 3D rotate command and select the two objects. Pick a base point. We'll click the red ribbon. I want them to go counterclockwise, so it's 90. Enter. Now I want to move. M enter the triangular block from that point to there, and we can union both pieces together to make one. and shade it to see what it looks like. Looks okay, so I'll Z enter, E enter. Then go into the top view. Then go into the layout. And I'm going to now make layer viewports current. I'm going to take off OSnap and Ortho, and I'm going to type MV enter to create a viewport. Looks like I'll need a big one. Like that. Hit enter to repeat and make a smaller viewport on top. Double click inside. Then go to Southeast Isometric, pan, and zoom. Zoom real time to make it even bigger. Double click outside to get back into paper space. Click on the large viewport and go down to annotation scale and select 1:1. Double click inside the viewport, then pan. Oh, sorry, my mistake. You have to double click inside the viewport, then pan when you're in model space. Looks like that. Now double click outside. I'm going to zoom with a window, only the solid model. Double click inside. View, orbit, continuous orbit. See what it looks like. Woo! Oh, try a different direction. Okay, now zoom previous. Double click outside. Z enter, E enter. Zoom extents. Click on the layer button. Make layer 1 current. Also, I forgot to freeze the viewports layer. So now the drawing is correct and you want to save it. Thank you for watching. This video will show how to align two objects in 2D. The first thing to do is to make the command line active, type AL, enter, and select the objects. I'll select them with a window. Enter. I'll have to pick the first point, but I need OSnap to be on. So I'll connect these 2 points. Then I'll connect these 2 points. I'll press enter to end the command. The selected objects are moved from the source point to the destination point, and second and third points, if I specified them, will rotate and tilt the selected objects. In this video, you will learn how to draw an arc by specifying 3 points. I'll pick on the command line to make it active, type A, enter. And I need a start point. OSnap is on, so I can pick this point. Then I'll pick a point for the arc, and then the endpoint. I could do that again by hitting enter or the space bar to repeat the command. Take my first point, second point, and end point. Now we'll see how to use the break command to break an object, whether it be a line, a circle, or an arc. Of course, we'll make the command line active and type BR, enter, which is the alias for break, and we'll select the line, and we're going to take OSNAP off, and what we have to do is pick a point. You don't have to actually touch the line. I can repeat the command and pick another 2 points like that, or whatever. Keep doing it. Either go right to left or left to right, it doesn't matter. This time I'll hit enter or the space bar, and I'll select this line here. I'll type F enter, put the object snap back on, and select my first intersection and then my second intersection, and you see that the line in between has disappeared. Also, we'll take off the object snap, we'll hit the space bar to repeat the command, and we'll try it on the circle. We'll pick 2 points, hit the space bar or enter key, another 2 points. You'll notice that I'm doing it counterclockwise. When you break a circle, you always have to do it counterclockwise. You don't actually have to touch it but get close to it. And that looks reasonably well. In this video, we'll learn how to chamfer objects. I have here a plate and a round shaft. So the first thing I'll do is to type CHA enter, then I'll type D enter, and I'll type 0.25 enter. That establishes one distance. I'll hit enter, that establishes the second distance. Now all I got to do is select 2 lines. Hit enter or the space bar to repeat the command and select another 2 lines. Repeat the command by hitting the space bar or enter key, and then do the last one. As far as the shaft goes, I'm going to type CHA enter again, try it. CHA enter, D enter. This time the distance will be 0.06. Enter, and I'll enter it again because I want it at 45 degrees. So now I'll select the corner, repeat it down there, and again on this side, and again here. And since this is a shaft, and looking at it from the outside, there should be a line here. So I'm going to put a line with object snap on from here to here, enter, repeat the command from here to here. And the drawing looks correct, so we'll move on. In this case, we will learn to draw a circle by specifying a center point and radius or diameter. And so I'm going to type C enter, then I'll type R enter, and with those snap on, pick the left end point, move the mouse. I'll type R enter for the radius and type 0.19, enter. Repeat the command by hitting the Enter or Space key. Select the other end of the line. Now I'm going to type D-Enter, and I'll type 0.75 Enter. And that looks right. In this case, we're going to copy an object using 2 points. So on the command line, I'll type CO Enter. I'll select the circle on the left, Enter. A base point, I'll select the quadrant using Object Snap, the quadrant, and I'll put that at the end point of the vertical line. Hit Escape. Repeat the command. I'll select the circle. I'll pick the quadrant again, but this time I'll pick that left side quadrant, then bring it over here and put it at the end point there, and hit Enter or Escape to complete the command. And that looks okay. Here in this video, we'll learn how to insert points to mark equal segments. The first thing I want to do is to type PDMODE. The reason for that is I want to make sure I've got a mark here. 0, 1, 2, 3 all have different marks. So I'm going to accept 3 as the mark. Now I'm going to type DIV, Enter. I'll select the line, and I'm asked for the number of segments. I'll type 3, Enter. I'll repeat the command. I'll select the circle, and they ask for the number of segments, and I'll type 6. So those X's are PD mode 3, and that divides the line. I could draw lines, I could break at those points, and incidentally they're called nodes. These X's are called nodes. So you can break different segments and so forth. I don't think that the erase command requires much explanation. All you have to do is type E-Enter, and you can select individual entities to erase, or you can hit Enter, and you can type C-Enter with a crossing so that anything you touch can be erased, or you can make a window so anything encompassed by the window will be erased, or you can undo. I think that's enough for the erase command. The extend command is pretty straightforward. I'll type EX Enter to extend. I'll select the circle, Enter, and then pick any of these points to extend it to the perimeter of the circle. Repeat the command. I can do it one at a time. I want to extend to that line, Enter. Repeat the command. I want to extend to this line, Enter, that line, Enter. Or you can do it multiple at once. For example, I want to extend to both of those lines, Enter, then I can extend it like that. That's all you have to know about extend. The fillet command is extremely useful, and I use it all the time. I'll type F-Enter, R-Enter, 0.19 Enter, and I'll select these 2 lines. I'll do it again. F-Enter, R, enter. This time the radius will be 0, enter. This is a command you'll use constantly, because I can make a right angle whether the lines are far apart or whatever. So you want to be sure you learn the fillet command, and that's all there is to it. Here we're going to use the hatch command. I'll type H, enter. Dialog box comes up and I'm asked to select objects. So let's say I select the rectangle, enter. Dialog box appears again. I don't wish to make any changes to the scale or whatever, so I'll simply say OK. I'll repeat the command. This time I want to change the direction of the hatch marks, so I'll change the angle from 0 to 90, and I'll pick a point. I'll select objects. I'll select the circle, enter. Dialog box appears, you click OK, and that's it. Kind of easy and straightforward. Autocad is not as hard as many people think it is once you get into it. Sometimes it's easier to use the mirror command than to use copy or move. In this case, I'll use mirror. MI, enter. I'll select the number 2 on that side, enter. With O snap on, I'll pick that vertical line. I got to pick 2 points like so, and you hit enter. You notice that the 2 does not invert. And I guess that's it for this video. The move command is also straightforward. Simply type M, enter, select the circle, go to the intersection there and drag it to the end point like that. I could mirror that to put the circle on the other end, but instead I'm going to repeat, or I'll use the copy command. So I'm going to copy this, enter, from the quadrant on the left side and drag it over to the other end. Hit enter. And that's that. In this video, we'll offset a circle and a rectangle by specifying a distance. And so on the command line, I'll simply type O, enter, and then I'll type in a distance, 0.1, enter. And I can offset the circle any number of times. And also I can offset the rectangle, in both inside and outside, as you see. Hit escape to clear the command line, and that's that. In this video, we're going to use the petit command to join polylines, lines and arcs into a single polyline. Of course, you have to have a single polyline as shown in red here in order to be able to extrude it in 3 dimensions. So, to begin with, I'm going to activate the command line and type PE, enter. It says select a polyline, so I select a line. I'm asked if I want to turn it into a polyline. I say yes, enter, just hit enter. Then I want to type J, enter, to join. In other words, I want to join to that line, which I just made a polyline, all these other lines. So I select them all and hit enter twice. Now that is a polyline which can be extruded. So it's same with that one. This is also, Petit is also useful to create wide polylines. For example, if I was to type PE enter and select this line, which is a polyline, I can type W enter and specify a new width for all the segments. So I'll type 0.125 enter. Repeat the command, select the second line, W for width, enter, specify a new width, 0.375, enter. Repeat the command, select a polyline. An arc is a polyline. No, it's not. So I guess I have to turn it into a polyline. I'll say yes, enter, and then I'll type W, enter, and specify a width of 0.062, enter. And that's another example of the polyline edit command. In this video, we will create a polar array, and so I'll click the command line to make it active, type AR, enter. Then click on polar array and select objects button, and I'll select the object. Hit enter, dialog box appears again. I'll click to pick a center point, which will be at the cross section. The total number of items I'll change to 10. I want the angle to fit to be 360 degrees, and so I'll click OK. In this one, we will create a rectangular array. We'll type AR, enter on the command line and select rectangular array. Now we'll want to change the rows to 2 and the columns to 3, and we have to select the objects down here. The dialog box appears again, and we should put in dimensions. The row offset would be 0.48, and the column, no, my mistake, the row offset would be 0.59, and the column offset would be 0.48. Then we'll click OK, and that looks all right. The rotate command is another one that I use quite often. All you got to do is type RO, enter. I'll select this line and select the base. I want the line to go clockwise, so it has to be a negative number. So I'll simply type -30, -30. Repeat the command. This time I'll take this vertical line, enter. There's the base point, and I want to do -30 again, -30 again. Then of course I would copy CO, enter, this line in order to make the before and after the same. We'll learn about putting dimensions on later on. And that's that. The scale command is also pretty straightforward. just type SC enter, select the object including the dimension, because the dimension will change when you scale it. I'll pick the intersection there, and I'll make it scale it by a factor of 2, enter. And that looks right. I want to drag it down with grips though to improve the appearance. You'll have to take O-snap off to do it right, like that. Hit escape. And that is done for the scale command. Using the trim command is also very helpful. Just type TR enter, and I'll select, say, these 2 vertical lines, enter. So from those lines I can trim that one, and that one. Or I can just type F enter and draw a line. It's a fence. Then automatically all of them will be trimmed at once. Or I can trim, I'll hit escape, repeat the command, I can trim from the circle anything on the outside like that. Or if I wanted, I could even trim on the inside like this. I'll hit escape and undo that, just so I'll try it one more time, and this time I'll type TR enter. I want to trim from the circle, enter, and I'll use a fence, F enter. So I want to get rid of those lines, enter, trim again, select objects, F for fence, and then just do it backwards like that. And that does it for this grouping of simple basic AutoCAD commands.